From the food we eat, the air we breathe, the land we dwell, to the health of our body and mind and the well-being of all things in the universe. Unlock the Science with Chula Radio Plus.
Hello, I'm Lawan Jirasuladet, and this is Unlock the Science. Biodiversity is the variety and variability of living organisms and their ecosystems. In that sense, Thailand is a true biodiversity hotspot in the world. Across Thailand's diverse geographical ecosystems reside countless species of flora and fauna. With such diverse kinds of life, Thailand is gifted with prosperous resources from biodiversity to keep our lives healthy and secured, as well as spearheading the country's biotechnology and economy. Convention on Biological Diversity, which is the multilateral environmental agreement in conserving and promoting sustainable use of biodiversity, defines biodiversity as the variety of life on Earth and the natural pattern it forms. The richness of plant and animal lives, as we see today, is a product of billions of years of evolution. It forms the web of life, of which we, the humans, are an integral part, and upon which we so fully depend. So far, it was estimated that around 1.75 million species have been identified. However, scientists have estimated that there are actually about 13 million species on Earth, while some sources see the number as large as 100 million species. This means that the species we are aware of now could be just a fraction of what exists in the world, and that new species could always and constantly be discovered. In Thailand, the Ministry of Natural Resources and Environment reports that the country is the home of about 10,000 species of plants, 980 species of birds, 300 species of mammals, 490 species of reptiles and amphibians, 2,800 species of fishes, and over 150,000 species of microbes. All this amount to around 10% of all species of living organisms in the world. Almost 90% of the mammal species found in Thailand are very rare and included on the Red List of International Union for Conservation of Nature, or IUCN in abbreviation, which is an international body composed of both government and civil society organizations. IUCN, which is based in Switzerland, is seen as the global authority on the status of the natural world and the measure needed to safeguard it. The Red List of IUCN is the international list of threatened wildlife. Of all the mammal species endangered in Thailand, 3 are critically endangered, while another 24 are vulnerable. Most of them cannot be found elsewhere on Earth. Many things in our life are products of biodiversity. From the food on our table to the medicine that keeps us away from illness and diseases. Humans shall also be grateful to ecological services that ensure us fresh air, clean water, and healthy environment. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, richness of plants and animal species provide us with the nutrition our body needs, while genetic diversity also benefits agriculture, as it makes our food crops and farm animals more resistant to pests and diseases. This, in turn, strengthens our food security. But right now, global biodiversity is under threat. Convention on Biological Diversity has warned that there is an alarming decline in nature and biodiversity, posing a critical risk to humanity in the 21st century. Over 1 million species are facing the danger of extinction, more than at any other point in human history, due to land use of changes, climate change, pollution, and introduction of invasive species. In investing a study on biodiversity, Chulalongkorn University has set up a research center on this issue. Professor Dr. Somsak Panha is the director of the Center of Excellence on Biodiversity. He has done a great deal of research on snail taxonomy, or the classification of snails, in the past 25 years. His efforts have awarded him with the discovery of 250 new species of snails in Thailand and several hundred others in neighboring countries. Professor Somsak also teaches at Faculty of Science. Unlock the Science reporter Prat Ruchi Wanarom talks to him to learn more about the importance of biodiversity resources and how we can conserve them.
Could you please tell me about your work on taxonomy and biodiversity in Thailand?
We have started our taxonomic works officially. When we received the first grant support in 1995, the time when the TIF, the Thailand Research Fund, and the BRT program, we call Biodiversity Research and Training Program, established at that time, 95. And land snail is our first organism that we concentrated on species exploration, say discovery. From that time to present, we have reported more than 600 species with more than 250 new described species of land snail that occur in Thailand and several hundreds in nearby countries such as Indochina, Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam, and Myanmar, Malaysia, and Singapore, under several collaborated projects with researchers from those countries. And the new dimensions and interpretation are also expanded to adding up a lot more meaningful results. We also extended our research to some other terrestrial invertebrates, such as millipedes, earthworms, centipedes, and freshwater mollusks and freshwater leeches. We discovered so far more than 1,000 with more than 300 new described species to the world.
Oh, that is very good to hear. And what makes Thailand special in terms of biodiversity, in your opinion?
If you learn the geography, the geographic
Yes.
location of Thailand in Southeast Asia. We located on the mainland Southeast Asia, right? And Thailand is just in the middle of the mainland Southeast Asia. And this is a quite exactly right location that people always call it the area of, for a long time ago, we call it the gold land, or Thai people always say the Suvarnabhumi. Probably you heard about that.
Yes.
Is this really exactly, as I say again, the right location, which mainly if you see now we started our monsoon season, right? When the monsoons formulate really big, probably typhoon or other very strong, and it hit first to Vietnam and Laos, and then it's really mild, and it's really we have the depression or something like really just adequate to our rainforest, our several type of habitat, and also the Bay of Bengal, that southwest monsoon come from the south and to pass Myanmar first, and then just become the rain to Thailand area. So that reason why we saw the almost all type of habitat from mountain top to the deep sea. That you see that we have all things really perfect ecological system in Thailand.
And as an urban citizen, I wonder what are the benefit of biodiversity that we receive?
I kept, answering this kind of question about the benefits. May I explain very basic things from, now we're facing with the problem on the COVID-19. COVID-19 is a part of biodiversity activities because it's the effect of gene, because the gene mutation, the variants of COVID-19. So this is the step of biodiversity, because it's the gene is occur from 3,800 million years ago, when Earth formed organism established by the genetic materials. So the COVID-19 development is also the same things of the biodiversity development. So the benefit, what benefit if we have this kind of data, when we know how the COVID-19 has been formed, and so we can solve the problem, or we can try to find the way to not just protect or even kill for this kind of diseases. Yes, it's really important thing is, people have the really basic requirement on factor 4, that such as food, shelters, clothing, and medicine, right? This is the biodiversity is the really basic for the factor 4 that we need, the requirement of human. Basically, if you know the real thing that occur, if you playing with the biodiversity is kind of, they are so smart. Just the gene chain, just the gene chain in many angles, because it sometimes change to COVID, sometimes change to good benefit for food, for if you can find, you can discover. This is it. It depends on us. You see.
So we can adapt the advantage of each species that evolved over the time and make it a good use for us. Is that correct?
Yeah. Exactly. Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
And what are the current main threats to biodiversity in Thailand?
Oh, I think the main threat, if I say very largely human, according to the record from conventional on biodiversity or other institutes, they told that the first problem to the first threat, the really impact is the habitat destruction. People destroy habitat.
And how should we do to help save the nature and biodiversity?
Now people trying a lot. There are let's say 1,000 organizations, or even it's just some organization is kind of volunteer, or some organization try to tie up with the government policy, in terms of force the government to do this kind of things. But in case of our individual, I think the basic we should think about try to keep yourself preserve or conserve firstly in your mind about how to conserve, how not to enclose, to the all kind of organism. Once you thinking about you going to do something, think before you act, think before you act, and try to follow, the government legislation. Sometimes it's not always right all the time, but the government also now fought by some organization like Convention on Biodiversity, they have to follow. And we have the Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources that is a national focus for the biodiversity.
We will take a short break now.
You are listening to Unlock the Science on Chula Radio Plus.
Without findings of antibiotic properties of penicillium mold by Scottish physicians Alexander Fleming in 1928, and later adaptation of the mold properties as disinfectant medicines, millions of people would die from curable bacterial infections. Another recent example of how biodiversity is so important to us and our economy is the research by Faculty of Science, Chulalongkorn University, in using natural extracts from the mucus of Siamese snail. Such extracts were found to have the properties to heal and firm up skin. This innovation has already been registered as an intellectual property of Chulalongkorn University, and a startup firm, Snail Limited, has been set up to make use of these findings by applying the mucus from Siamese snail as raw material in making skincare products. The products are being marketed under the brand Snail. Up next, we are going to talk to biochemistry expert, Professor Dr. Anchalee Tassankajon, also from Faculty of Science, Chulalongkorn University, who is the key person behind this research. Dr. Anchalee will tell us about her initial inspiration and how we should make a good use of our rich biodiversity resources and move forward with biotechnology in the future.
What is your inspiration behind your research to use the extract from snail mucus as cosmetic product?
As a biochemist, my first inspiration comes from the scientific data that show the benefits of snail mucus for skin. And we found that it contains biomolecules such as glycoproteins, peptides, and especially hyaluronic acids, which stimulate skin repair and has anti-aging properties. In addition, our research team members, Professor Somsak, is a biologist expert in terrestrial snails, and most people know him quite well. And he has discovered over 600 species of snails in Thailand. So we also found that different species of snails secrete mucus with various properties. So why shouldn't we make use of them and bring our Thai snail cosmetic products to the world market? Why should we use just the products from Korean or from other countries? Because we also have Thai snails with mucus rich in various properties. And that's my inspiration.
Why the mucus from Siamese snail is more suitable than also snail species for producing cosmetic products?
From our research, we found that Thai snails that are exposed to high temperature, strong UV radiations, and surrounded by lots of germs. So they produced mucus more enriched with active compounds than those snails in cold climates. And besides, we have innovation to extract the best snails from the body of the snail called mantle. So we collect the snail mucus from mantle, not from food. And these mucus in natural, they secrete to moist the snail skin and protect them from skin inflammation and bacterial infections. And it also has properties in wound healing and stimulate new cells. And we also have developed methods to extract and process the mucus to obtain high concentrated mucus to ensure effectiveness for skin care. So I would like to say that we are the first company to use mucus from tropical snails for producing cosmetic products. And our extraction process do no harm to the animal. And we declare that our cosmetic is a cruel-free product. We have to collect the mucus, and then we have to go through the filtration process to remove some dirts and some contaminations. And finally, we filtrate them with very small pore size membrane in order to remove all bacteria and or any microorganisms contaminate in the mucus, and those can be used in as a cosmetic ingredients.
I also heard that Chulalongkorn University also invests in this snail farm. Could you tell me more about snail farm?
Actually, we have the snail farm in order to make the to ensure the properties, the consistent properties of the snail mucus, because in different environment, the snails will secrete different properties of the mucus, and the farm is actually invested by our company. We established a spin-off company named Siamese Snail Companies, and we license snail innovation from Chulalongkorn University to produce the skincare products. And we use the ingredients snail mucus from our farm to produce the cosmetics.
Could you tell me the story behind the development of snail mucus product by Chulalongkorn University and later under Siamese Snail Company?
Yeah, after 30 years of snail research, our team decide to bring our research to revenue by establishing this spin-off company. We now have the products under the brand Snail 8, and it's open nearly 5 years with a total revenue of over 150 million baht. And we hope it can grow further.
And how can biodiversity promote Thailand bioeconomy as a whole?
I think Thailand is a biodiversity hotspot, and perhaps we make use of only small proportion of our existing biodiversity in the countries. So there are lots of, I can say, many bioresources, not only from forest, but also from the ocean. And of course, when we make use of them, we have to balance between utilization and conservation to ensure sustainable environment. And I think that these resources can be used not only for cosmetics or for foods, but also for energies or medicines or even tourism. So I believe that this is remain a great opportunities and a big challenge to use them, to utilize them for bioeconomy.
The final question: what else can we develop from our biodiversity resource?
I would say in cosmetic size, we are looking for new ingredients from nature, and I think besides snails, we also have plants extracts, which are in the top list in cosmetic market right now. We also have seaweeds or coral extracts from the oceans, and these natural extracts also have potential, like I said, not only in cosmetic, but also in medicines to fight against various diseases. So this is the way we can develop various products from our biodiversity resources.
According to World Wildlife Fund, the consequences of human activities are causing imbalance to nature and killing off 2/3 of wildlife population since 1970s. It is the fastest rate of extinctions since an asteroid wiped out the dinosaurs 65 million years ago, and we are losing biodiversity fast. Therefore, Professor Somsak urged everyone to restore the balance, and it is now a crucial time for us to save biodiversity, or else we may be unable to survive the ecological Armageddon in the future. Unlock the Science would like to express our gratitude to our guests in this episode, Professor Dr. Somsak Panha and Professor Dr. Anchalee Tassankajon, both from Faculty of Science, Chulalongkorn University. I hope you enjoy our program. You can listen to Unlock the Science on Chula Radio Plus at FM 101.5 every Saturday from 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. You can also listen and follow us on our website, curadio.chula.ac.th, and our Facebook page, and our program is also available as podcasts. See you again next Saturday. Have a nice day.
Unlock the Science is edited and produced by Sinfa Tunsarawut with Lawan Jirasuradet as the program host and co-producer.